We welcome you to Blues Game Day Live alongside Joe Vitale, Darren Pang. We are in Vancouver, British Columbia. We'll talk about yesterday first. What a beautiful day.
Oh, my God,
Off
gorgeous.
Day after a big win in Edmonton. Always feels better after a big win, even for the broadcasters.
Oh, it does.
We're lighter on our steps.
Yeah.
Huh? Got around
Contagious
town.
feeling through the group.
How many miles did you walk yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I was hauling it all over the place. We asked you. I know you just walked
Me too,
everywhere.
same thing.
You didn't have a compass or anything on you. You just kept going. You just followed the coastline. Or where did you go? Did you do any shopping, or you just walked?
Yeah, I did. Ended up at some famous Canadian places like Roots.
Roots is a good spot.
Good spot, where you can get some good stuff.
And it was supposed to rain yesterday, and it didn't.
And it did not.
We got lucky.
Have our Blues fans done their Christmas shopping? Are you guys all taken care of out there? Have you done? Are you done?
No, I have a little bit more to do.
Did you get anything for Trevor Nickerson or Chris Pinkert?
I have.
Yeah, they need to get us an iPhone watch for all the steps for doing these Game Day Live hits from way up top here. If we go about another 3 inches backwards, we're going down. Okay, I'll let you know that right now. And we let's start with the game right here, Vancouver. Last game in St. Louis. Man, did they ever give it to the Blues. They gave it to the home crowd. They gave it to everybody.
They did.
Obviously led by Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser. The players have short memories, Joe. They'll remember what happened in that last game.
I'd hope so. Yeah, I think Pettersson came out there and he did what he's been doing all year. I mean, this kid is just a rookie sensation. I mean, I know when they went to go draft him, he's about 160 pounds, a tall, skinny kid. They weren't sure if he'd make it to 5, and he ended up making it to the 5th pick, and Vancouver picked him up, and what a pick he's been. He's been outstanding, so fun to watch. He always makes something happen with the puck, and Besser, a big hat trick last game. So those two guys, you're going to keep an eye on them too, but just that game a couple weeks ago had a little bit of everything in it. Goal scoring was evident. The Blues, hopefully looking for a response game, was a physical game, as we were talking about before we hopped on here, but especially with about a couple players in that lineup. Well,
the one guy he didn't play on that top line in the last game that they had. They lost to Tampa Bay 5-2 here. But the Jake Virtanen, a former first overall pick, he goes about 230 pounds. I think the Blues players might have been a little shocked at how sturdy this kid is. And he had a couple of really good battles with Joel Edmondson. And if you recall, Edmondson missed a couple of games after that because of a couple of collisions that he had with him. So I think there'll be some individual battles here in this hockey game, knowing that they've only played a week and a half ago against one another.
Yeah, I think so, and especially because Vancouver, look at their game they played against Tampa a couple nights ago. That was a physical game. That was old school
way
hockey.
Different than a 5-2 game.
Very way different. Yeah, 100%. So look for a good physical game tonight. I think two teams that are still trying to claw their way back up into this Western Conference here. So I'm excited for it.
Yes, same with me. I think the one thing that we're looking at with the Blues on the road, I guess we'll start with the goaltending. Jake Allen has absolutely been spectacular on the road. His last 3-3-0. Goals against average is mini-me-ish, my friend.
What's mini-me-ish?
Mini-me-ish is just a shade over the 2. And the save percentage is around the 94. I mean, that's pretty darn good.
That's excellent.
So I love that. I love when he's got that confidence and he shows you what he's capable of doing. On his toes, aggressive, plays pucks. I mean, if you're watching at home or you're listening on the radio, and how many times that he comes out and with authority plays a puck and gets it out of the zone, that's when I know that he's on. Where he catches a couple of pucks early and has total control of it, then he's on. So I really liked the way he played in the last game. He looked big. He looked upright. He looked like he wasn't deep in the net, and he looked like a guy that was on a mission.
I think he's starting to make more of these, I call them momentum shifting saves. And you mentioned that Edmonton game. I thought he was terrific all game, but there came a point when the Oilers won a power play. McDavid has the puck, and really up to that point in the second period, they had nothing on the power play. But finally, McDavid finds Draisaitl. I don't know if you remember this or not. In the high slot, and Draisaitl shoots a quick little snapper. It was Jake blows up a blocker. Huge blocker save. And I remember thinking that might be the big save we needed. Well, if you fast forward about 2 minutes, David Perron hops out of the box. We're killing off the penalty that we thought it was offsides. We ended up getting penalty for that. David comes out on the ice and he scores. Puts the Blues up 1-0. Those momentum shifting saves that Jake has been making a lot of lately.
Okay, let's go to the controversy in that last game. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. This is inventory we want to get rid of because it has been a confusing last couple of weeks.
They didn't tell me this job would be this hard.
No, it started.
I thought this was dump puck in, score goal. Like I talk about them scoring goals. That's it. This is confusing.
No, we have to know all the rules and we have to be confused like crazy and pretend that we're experts in it. But the offside call ends up being the right call.
It does.
I mean, we thought that once the puck entered the zone, or I did anyway, that player, which was Ty Ratty, his skates were on the ice clearly, but they had tagged up and he hadn't touched the puck yet. So in essence, until he touched the puck, that player's skates on the ice. It didn't matter. Is off the ice. It's a good call. It's amazing how confusing it can get. And then the other one, of course, just sheer want to. Patty Maroon gets credit for the goal after a great play by by Robert the Thomas, busting in from the left side. So the Blues get not a break, because clearly one angle shows that it's in the net, but it was nice to see the Blues actually be on the right side of it, and with all the hard work that they put into that.
Oh, yeah, and catch a break for once.
Catch a break.
I feel like, I believe, if my memory serves me right, the Edmonton game in St. Louis was when Tarasenko got called for goaltender interference when it wasn't goaltender interference.
Right.
That would have put us up by an extra goal, and you never know how that game would have shifted.
That would have been 3-1 at that time.
We end up losing that in shootout, so you never know. So it's good to see the Blues kind of rebound. But I wanted to talk about that goal really quickly. You touched about it. Robert the Thomas putting it between his legs and going to the net. We haven't seen a lot of goals like this out of the St. Louis Blues. You can call them that rugged, just like grimy, kind of just throw pucks in that, put bodies there. You had Robert going there. You had Bozak with the chance. You see Pat Maroon, the big rig, going in with the big stick, big body. There's defensemen. It's just chaotic. I think I would like to see more goals like that out of the St. Louis Blues. I think that's what it's going to take. One
of the things that Robert Thomas is a natural centerman, but he's starting to find his ice time right now and find the way that he enters the zone has been impressive, Joe. He has been the most effective Blue at entering the zone. So his entries into the zone and the plays that he makes off the rush have been number one for the Blues for the last little while. If you look at the analytics, my friend,
which are very important.
Which I didn't look at them, but somebody told me that that's high up in the pay grade area.
They make way more than we do.
But that's what he did on that play too. Good skating, sees the ice, makes a little play, sees that the defenseman's kind of cutting towards the defenseman's left. He goes back to the right and makes a really good move. So, I like that. First of all, let's stay with that line for a second. They were good against Edmonton, and they were good. They've been good, I think, the last 4 or 5 games now. So let's go to that line. Pat Maroon, who, of course, he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, and it's always about goals and points for a lot of these players. I keep telling him, I've liked your game the last half dozen. I like the way you're playing, down low, fighting for pucks, and not giving up on the play. And Bozak's starting to find his game as well.
Yeah, he is.
Would you agree?
Oh, I will 100% agree.
Okay. From the radio side, it seems like the same?
From the radio side, from up top, bird's eye view, the eagle eye like I have, he looks terrific. Vancouver game, like you mentioned, that's when it got started. And the last 2 or 3 games, Bozak got a goal a couple games ago, was at Calgary. And then yesterday, or 2 days ago, Pat Maroon gets a goal. And sometimes it's that 1 or 2 goals that kind of really gets these guys up and running. But I've noticed that they're putting pucks in really good areas in the offensive zone, which allows the big rig, number 7,
to place them so that he can play to his strengths.
That's where he makes his money. We make our money on Facebook Live, talking to you great people. This is where we do it. He makes his money below the goal line. That's where he has to stay.
Yeah, you make your money with the great hair that you have. Let's face it, okay?
But this is what he does great. Let him go. Let the big dog eat is what they say. Put it down below the goal line, and he's done such a great job holding on to pucks, shielding it, turning, and Bozak's been finding those little spaces in the slot to find openings. Pat's been feeding them, and Robert Thomas, which you mentioned, his entries into the zone, his intelligence, he's always making good plays happen. He's a fun player to watch. This is a line that's been exceptionally good for the Blues.
And speaking of big dogs eating, we went to Joe Forte's last night, and we had quite a big meal. Anyway, we'll segue back to one more commentary. Jaden Schwartz, 400th game. Nice to see the top line. It looks like 3 players that played hard together and for one another. So Schwartz playing with some confidence, told me before the game what they needed to do, hounding pucks, stops and starts. They did that. Braden Shen, solid game, and of course Vladdy scoring a goal. That is going to lift a big, huge monkey off his shoulders.
Big one. 3 helpers for Shenner and Schwartz. I love seeing that empty net goal at the end. I know it's an empty net goal, but sometimes that's,
they've been on the ice for a lot against them.
Man,
and that's the plus
what,
minus. When you look at those numbers, empty net goals count for the plus minus, and they've been on the negative side of a lot of empty net goals against.
It looks like a goal on the game sheet, and you should treat it that way. I love because Jaden Schwartz's effort from the very get-go, the very drop of that puck. I love how Berube started that group and said, hey, you guys are aligned. We want you to go get it. They did. It started in the first shift. 3 helpers for Shen. You look at the Tarasenko power play goal. This is a line that once they get those mojos and those grooves kind of start going again, this could be the line we saw a lot of last year.
Joe, when there was an empty net in Pittsburgh and you're playing with Crosby, were you on or was he on?
I was always on the bench. I was saying, go, Sid, go!
Well, we're going to wrap this up. Hold on, need time. What time's the game on in St. Louis? 9 Central Time is the game. 8:30 is the pregame on KMOX, the 50,000-watt blowtorch on the radio side with Chris Kerber and Joe Vitale. John Kelly, John Kelly treated us to a nice little surf and turf meal last night. Thanks, JK. Appreciate that.
Buddy.
Seafood stack. We've got the call here as well. Puck drop, of course, at 9 o'clock, and Bernie and Scott have got the pregame show at 8:30. We hope you join us. Enjoy your day. We're getting ready for a good break. We got one more game before then, and I know Joe's excited about that because he's going to eat lots of his homemade bread. Right, Joe?
That's right, buddy. Let's get the 500 first.
For Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Pang. Have a great day, everybody.